Yeah, howdy folks. I said I needed a big 3D printer. Yeah. This is the one I need. Not necessarily the one I want, but this is the one I need. So I'm gonna get, this is actually Saturday. It just got dropped off and I'm gonna open it up and just inspect the parts, probably put it together and have it ready for like Monday. So when we do our show Monday, I'll have this thing hopefully sitting on the workbench or whatever so that we can discuss and show this machine. It's big. Yeah, yeah. Wow, a little noisy, but this is absolutely, yeah. This looks like the answer for our production problem because this thing is just running so fast, it's insane. And the plate, of course, is so big. It's 420 millimeter by 420 millimeter, 500 millimeter Z height. So yeah, this is definitely looking interesting. There's a few things about the machine that I got to tell you about because this is not what it looks like. This was an old used machine from Anycubic that I guess you could say it was kind of classified like not refurbishable. It was not repairable. And so they had them clearing out for like $150. So I bought one. And I figured I should be able to fix it, whatever's wrong. And that it would be worth the hassle. Because you know me, I am tight with a nickel. And I'd love to have a brand new machine. But I thought, well, we'll try an old used one. We'll do the repairs on it and we'll learn something and we'll also find out how much work we're into. And it's this is just a test print. This is not actually a product. In fact, this can go in the trash after we're done. But it is doing everything it should do. In fact, I'm a little bit overly impressed with it at this point. It's absolutely amazing. I think we started 2 machines this morning, and we started the same print, you know, for the test. And right now, this thing is at something like 23% complete. The other machine is at 1%. Yeah, so huge difference. Real game changer. My concern, I guess, is with high speed is quality. Now, I do have one little problem here, and I guess I'm going to explain it, is the PLA I've got is not the high speed, which I should have in here. That's just something that I didn't realize that till after I started it, and then realized, oh yeah, you know, this is not designed for high speed, so we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's doing fine. I think it'll be all right. It's a test print, more to see if it'll stick to the bed, if the print will come up with a decent finish, and then we'll go from there. We'll actually be switching. Actually, the color even is wrong. This is just, like I say, just junk PLA. Now, this is the Anycubic Kobra 2 Max, in case you're wondering which one it is. And it's a little noisy. It's not too bad, I think. I think it's not too bad. But it's fast and it's big, and that's what I needed for the shop. It's also about 32 degrees in here right now, so yeah, it's a little bit too cold to be doing this, but I'm doing it anyways because I hate to say it, but I've got 3-4 printers running this morning, and we're behind. Yeah, like always. Okay, well, it's making another piece for me. Another test run here, see how it's going. It is doing great. The machine and the repair, I don't want you guys to jump all over the internet and try to buy one for that price. Unless you're really experienced with 3D printing and troubleshooting, repairs, that kind of thing, this would have been a nightmare. It did take me all of almost 2 days to get this up and running. So yeah, and there's a couple of things here wrong with the machine that I can overlook it, and it was like, it's fine. We can get by without fixing that or replacing the parts. But it wasn't in good shape when it came in, and I knew that. So, you know, some of the craziest things, it was actually this piece here at the back of it, where your 2 belts connect together, was actually dragging on the gantry bar here. Yeah, back and forth, and I had to bend it in order to get it away from the bar so it wouldn't catch it anymore as it was going across. Another problem that was really weird was the motor back here that runs this plate was misaligned, and it was actually struggling, and it couldn't actually move the plate. It felt like the whole thing was seized up. I actually took the plate, everything underneath here, the bearings, everything, took them all apart to see what the problem was, and it turned out after I got everything out of here, I discovered the motor still won't turn, was like, it was because it was jammed. It was just frozen up that badly. So it totally misaligned. Just one of those things. But there was a lot of little things just all over the machine that were like that. And so, you know, it was like, I will take this on to save the money and just bring the machine in so I can test and see if it will do what we need. And it is, I wish I had a brand new one. Yeah, because it is awesome. There's another problem here today. I just ran a couple of tests like this off, and it's so cold here in the garage that the minute this thing finishes and it cools down, everything, the PLA bends and warps and gets out of shape immediately on me. So what I do in the cold weather days like this is I put some rags over it once it's finished and let it cool down slowly, and that prevents it from getting into that warp thing. Another one of those secret dirty tricks that I use for 3D printing, huh? Yeah. Yeah. I might use voice isolation software to calm the noise down here so you can hear me and not the machine running, obviously. But this is our first day with this thing where we're really running tests with it. Sunday was a long day. I just came into the garage Sunday morning and just started on this thing and just kept going and thinking, until we get it running, we're not done, you know. And it's looking good. I see on the news there some real garbage stuff hitting about Bamboo Lab and having a kind of a closed loop system where they control what you're putting on the machine, what you're running, kind of thing. It sounds pretty creepy. I'm hearing different things like, oh, it's okay, and other people saying, oh no, I will never buy another Bamboo Lab machine, I'm angry, blah, blah, whatever. And so, yeah, you know, I can see there's a lot of problems. This machine, the reason I don't want the machine is, number one, it's not a core XY machine. This is what I like. You know, this is a bed slinger. You know, I don't really like bed slingers for a lot of reasons, but the number one thing I don't like is, unless they have, you know, is just the size. The plate is so big and it has to move all the way to here, all the way to back there. So it takes about 3 feet of space easily back and forth. So that's kind of a bust. But also, they're not usually very fast. The Anycubic, this is the Kobra 2 Max. It has good speed. It has very good speed. I just heard another 3D printer back there starting up because we've got, like I said, got a lot of stuff behind. Got to get it all caught up, kind of thing. So we're printing out batches of stuff today. Also got the one in the house right now. It's making something. I would love to have this in my office or something in the house, but it's just too big. Yeah, you know. So I'm not sure where we're going to go with that. But one of the few things that I really do like about this particular model bed slinger is you see these steel rails on here, and of course on the bed slinging part down here, we've got steel rails. They have metal steel bearings that are on kind of like, almost like pulleys, and that's what your guide is, and that's what you're running on. So it's not running on the old, you know, rubber wheels that we used to use on like the CR10 or something. And that's kind of like more towards industrial mode for me. And again, you got to think in terms of 3D printing farms where a machine like this poor old guy is, you know, he's going to be looking at a lot of work in the future. And as long as he's working well, he will continue. He will be running, you know, probably night and day. And so having that kind of build is really something I look for. And when I looked at these linear, I will call them linear rail bearings, that was kind of like, yes, that's a big plus. The extruder head is, I didn't see anything good or bad about it. It does have good cooling fans in there, so it's pretty good for the cool down part. So there is a few things. Now, cable management on this machine is a nightmare. I think it's horrible. But the worst thing is this one right back here, because it wants to lay on the motor and get into the pulleys and stuff back there constantly. I might have to end up doing something to stiffen it somehow to get it so it stays away from there. Maybe a little chain, you know, chain belt thing or something going on. The other thing that wasn't real fussy on was this bottom tube thing they've got here, because really this I like to be up here, not off the side of the machine, but I guess that's all right. I would have preferred to just come straight down and feed the extruder. And also, it's going to be kind of hard to change that because the filament runout is right there. Yeah. So that means that wiring would have to be removed or changed or jumped out, or something would have to be done. Again, you can jump it out if you're a 3D print farm, because you know what? You haven't got time for filament run out problems usually. You generally try to make sure you've got enough filament to run through for each job. Generally, you don't want holdups or come by the machine hours later only to find, oh, ran out of filament. It's been sitting here, doing nothing ever since. So this is a really good machine for a print farm, apparently, I guess. I think, my problem was I needed about 370 millimeter for some of the products that we make, roughly, the big stuff. And, somewhere between 350, 375, somewhere in that range. And when I found out these were available and I saw the prices, it was like, this would be, the way to go. It's like, I went through a lot of different names like Crealities and, looked around to see who else had something. And I really couldn't find anything except this and Elegoo. And Elegoo's machine I was pretty much leaning towards their stuff. But when I found this great deal from Anycubic, it was like, I'll go with that, at least get it in here so we can try it ourselves, because, you know and I know what they say on the internet and what is true are two different things. So it's like, if you have this thing and it's in hand and you're running it and you see how it runs and you like it or something, the other guy might turn around, get on YouTube and tell you how bad it is or something. So I don't think it's a good design or a really great machine or anything, but if it does these jobs and it runs these off this easily, then it's totally a lovable machine. It's like, this will be just fine for what I need. One other thing about this particular machine, the build plate here was totally bent up. Oh man, she was like, dished in the middle. The edges were turned up really high. So I used some clamps and some steel and pulled the build plate as straight as I could and put it back on. It's not really fitting the chassis properly, so I couldn't install it with all the secure screws and everything that they use with this. So I used the ones that would hold the build plate correctly, but without causing any problems with the shape and everything. Again, banged up machine, so, but yeah, nice new one would have been nice, so there's a lot of reasons why other people would find this thing to be a nightmare, but if it'll do something like this arrangement, this size, roughly right here, and even just run one like that in only a couple of hours, it's perfect. It's absolutely, it's what I need. It'll relieve the problem I've got at the other end with all these other machines running, and it'll take a lot of stress off me. It'll take a lot of problems off me and solve a lot of issues that I've had. But right now, the biggest issue probably today is the garage is about 30 degrees. So in here, and it's like, I've got temperature problems, and that's expected because we're having a weird polar vortex. For about 3 or 4 days. We might even have snow here, and I'm in southern Texas where, they generally don't see snow. So it's not my fault. So we're experiencing some unusual. Normally it's 60, 70 degrees in here, so it's a perfect ambient temperature for 3D printers to stay cool and run all day long and all night long. So this is just an unusual problem. Now, hopefully this problem will go away in a few days with the snow and all the rest of it. Get out of here. Thursday, I think we're supposed to be back up to normal temperatures, so it's like, that'll be good. This is absolutely, I think that I've got to get handed to Anycubic. I would not have bought this machine if it hadn't been for the price, and I was really, like I said, I was looking at Elegoo. Now we might, word on the street, we might have an Elegoo in here shortly. That could be, and it'll be a review job, where we take a look at the machine and see how it is. I don't know which one they're talking about or anything, but they did approach me, so okay, we'll take a look. Anycubic has no idea who they sold this to, and that it's going to be on YouTube. This was so cheap that the aluminum here, there's like hammer marks here, the big skid marks of metal scraped down here. There's chunks of aluminum missing out of the bar. Ouch! There's even sharp pieces. Apparently, they take a file for that. But she was. All I can tell you is it was really rough, but it was well worth the $150 to find out if it's a good machine. And I have to admit, it is very, very likely that I might go ahead and order a new one. To go alongside this one, because I'm finding that this is really doing a great job. In fact, it's doing so good, I might not need, maybe I won't need more than one, right? It's been a busy year so far. This is only January, and I'm already slammed with orders. So, you know, it looks like this could be a record year. I think it is. Anyways, oh, and I made a shark. Yeah, there you go. That was another test print. Yeah. I'm not quite, I don't know, I'm not into the shark thing too much, these things, so I don't generally do toys. Thank you for watching Coffee Tools, and please like, share, and subscribe, and try to get some more videos out this week too, because we might be stuck at home for a while. It's still out now. Over and out.